So this is an introduction to bricklaying tools here. So first and foremost, the main tool, bricklaying trowel. This is an 11-inch trowel. I've been a competent bricklayer now for over 20 years, so it's a slightly large one. This is an 11-inch trowel. I encourage students to get a 10-inch trowel. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but it makes such a difference when you're learning how to use it. So that's obviously for spreading the mortar. We can then go on to here. So we've got 2-foot level. I said again for levelling and plumbing. We've got a 4-foot level for when obviously it's longer, the brickwork's slightly longer, and also for plumbing higher up. We've also got here a boat level. This is a boat level. This is used for decorative brickwork, mostly for brick on edge with the bricks laying on its side, or soldiers, and you plumb up the soldiers going across that way. So that's there. We're now going to go on to pointing. So got pointing trowel here, and again that's used for weatherstruck pointing or cut and struck pointing. Again, there's a form of bird's beak pointing, they call it. We then go on to the half round joint finish, and here again there's 3 different sizes, and they said it's all different depending on what type of how deep you want the joint to be pushed in when you use it. So there's large, medium and a smaller version. There's another type of pointing which is called recessed pointing or raked out. Again, this is a tool called a chariot. You can adjust the nail here, turning the screw here to the set depth that you want, and then you use it to rake out the beds and the perps. There's another tool called a tuck pointer. Now this is a tuck pointer, so if you've got 2 in the stem point, you want to push mortar into the into joints, and again also it can be used along in conjunction with the chariot to smooth the joints up to really make a nice finish at the end. Another important thing, soft brush. Again, like I said, for brushing off all the residue, once you've finished the point, you want to do a nice job of the pointing, you want to finish it off, get all the residue off using a nice soft brush. And then going to sort of go on to measuring and setting out tools. Obviously, craft knife, you need that for cutting DPC, you might be cutting your string line, various different, even sharpening. Pencil, most important, a couple of hard pencils, you need them for drawing the models out on the floor. So you need a craft knife to go along with that. You've got string line and pins here. So obviously the string line works in conjunction with the corner blocks that goes on the corners. But if you've got an internal corner, and like I said, you can't obviously use a corner block, you wrap the string line round and push that into the joint, and that way you can secure a line using the internal corner. So that's what the pins are for, and they also store the line on. Obviously tape measure, most important there. Again, centimetres, millimetres, inches. Brickwork's predominantly done in millimetres, the measurement, or sometimes centimetres. So again, something you really need to learn how to read the tape measure. Also, when you gauge the brickwork, you go up in increments of 75, so 75, 150, 225, etc. We then go on to the cut-in bricks. So you have a lump hammer and a bolster. Again, that's for cutting bricks by hand or blocks, thermal blocks or concrete blocks. Again, if you want to chip any bits off, you've got a brick hammer here, and again you use that just to take small bits off. If you want to take finer bits off or even shape bricks, then you use what they call a scutch hammer. You can see here it's got teeth, so it's real fine, just nibbles little bits of brick off, yeah? And then also, if you're cutting masonry thermal blocks, like I said, with a masonry saw here, and again, so big teeth, and it cuts through the thermal blocks. And again, if you're doing face work with thermal blocks, you want a real nice finish, crisp finish, and this gives you a nice crisp finish. Finally, you have a square, metal square, for drawing out 90-degree angle on the floor. Again, for using it for setting out and also checking your first course is all square. Again, very important to make sure everything's right from the first course, because once you've built your first course, you follow that first course. And that's the main basic tools for bricklaying.